Welcome to today's episode of Afro Scientific Spirituality. My name is remains if West. If this is your first time on this channel, you're highly welcome. This is a place where we separate the facts from the fiction, the science from the superstitions, and the concept from the misconceptions about African spirituality. Today, I will be talking about a very important subject, which is the ancient war between the Neanderthals and Homo-sapiens. This is a topic that is very deep, and for most people, it will be as an eye opener because it's a topic that have been talked about in almost every hidden circles in the world, scientific circles, in discussion groups, and secret societies, but also in your face. It has been discussed, and showcased in modern day Disney cartoons and the rest, but most people don't know about it. Today, I want to talk about this topic today. Uh, for some people, this could be a fiction. You can see it as fiction, as something real, and it could be like a childhood story or a bedtime story. For whatever case, you will think it's your own interpretation. For me, I will start this story as fiction. Then, as I progress with this fiction, let's assume hypothetically that what I will be talking about today is not real. Okay, it never happened. It's just a filament of my imagination. But as I progress, I will be picking evidence, facts, discussions, or references from other people to back this hypothetical assertion that I am just talking about for the sake of entertainment, if nothing else. So I'll be talking about this, and you can reach your own conclusion. But I believe it's about time that I dive into this topic. So here it goes. Once upon a time, in a place far away, there was some people that we would like to call pilgrims or pilgrims. These are very short black people, people that they call dwarf or semi-dwarf. They were living in this kind of El Dorado, peaceful paradise in a so-called place that is like the Garden of Eden, where they are free to roam free, enjoy themselves, live in total 100% harmony and bliss with the environment or with the planet or with nature. We are living like that for hundreds of thousands of years. And then one day, they discovered something strange has crept into their land. They discovered some uninvited guests or visitors. These visitors were very large, very horrible looking, and very brutish and savage. These things they term the frost giants. So these frost giants will come from time to time into the land of these peaceful little black dwarfs and raid their goods, steal people, destroy, and go back with whatever they can carry. So this thing was becoming too often, and the peaceful dwarf people noticed that this is a very serious existential threat that can be able to destroy their way of life as they know it. So what they did was that they cried for help. They sent out word to every corner of their land, and they were able to gather up the best warriors, the best artisans, the best people, specialists to come to their aid to make sure that they do everything to protect their land from these large, frost foreign invaders that they call the frost giants. So they gathered all they could from different parts of their land, from the north, south, east, and west of the Garden of Eden called Africa. And then they went to the gates or the tip or the only place whereby these frost giants were able to access their paradise. And then they built a very powerful city there with a fortress with the aim of blocking this frost giant from coming in to their land. Because back then they discovered that these frost giants don't know how to swim, and it does not have the wisdom of building boats or rafts to cross large bodies of water. So they discovered that the only way to really protect these frost giants was to build a very powerful, massive force of resistance so that these things cannot be able to gain access to their land to destroy with impunity. So they did all this. They went to northeastern Africa, which is today Egypt, and then they built the most advanced, most powerful civilization that the world have ever known. This happened hundreds of thousands, if not millions of years ago. So they were able to live in peace also for hundreds of thousands of years. After doing this, the frost giant could not come into the land. Then they also built this massive force to also chase these things far, far, far back into the caves, the snow caucus of Europe, whereby these things were coming from. So during this engagement or this association or this interaction with these frost giants, of course, some casualties took place, some lives were lost, some people were captured, were enslaved, and different sort of things happened. So with time, the frost giant began to evolve. For whatever this thing is, it is not a human being. It does not have the complete Homo sapien DNA. It has the DNA of a primate, something that is likening to a chimpanzee or a gorilla, but it is a mammal. Okay, but the thing was not human. Wherever this thing came from, we don't really know. But there have been different stories along the line about the origin of this Neanderthal. I like to call it Nidata. We know it as Nidata back in the primary schools, secondary schools, where we were studying the traditional Charles Darwin theory of evolution, trying to brainwash us in schools that we humans evolved from monkeys and apes. We African people do not evolve from monkeys and apes. Okay, we have always been original, authentic human beings, and we are the only real humans in this world. Science have proved that our DNA is the only 100% natural DNA. All other DNAs are mixed. So we are not the ones that evolved from apes. It was the Caucasians that evolved from Neanderthal DNA. Okay, so for most Caucasians, their ancestors is the Neanderthals and the Cro-Magnon. Okay, this is not African DNA. So whatever this thing is, the $1 million question, or rather the $1 billion question, is that we do not really know how this Neanderthal DNA came into being, but there have been some assertions to it. There have been an assertion made by Elijah Muhammad, the founder of the Nation of Islam, that the Neanderthal was created by a big-headed scientist called Yakub, who was trying to get back at the African people a long time ago for always insulting him that he has a very big head, that it took 600 years for him to use a system called DNA slicing and bleaching or interbreeding to create this race of these so-called people. And he created them at the island of Patmos, somewhere in Europe. So this is one origin of this Neanderthal or Caucasian or whatever. There's another section about this. If we check the tool, you will see where they draw the different type of men or races that were living that time in Egypt that they know. You will see the real African is a black person. The Egyptians was depicted as the black. Then you will see the Hyksos or this Caucasian was also depicted as a white person. Okay, the Talmud men. These men was regarded as men that were created by other men. This was what was recorded in the tomb in ancient Egypt. So somewhere along the line, something happened, but we don't really have the details. But what I am telling you now is that this thing, ever since this thing came into being, it has been in conflict with African people, with Homo sapien people all over the world. The sole aim of this frost giant is to kill, steal, and destroy. And we can see it in the characteristics of this very thing today. The thing has not changed. What happened is that it evolves. It has the ability to learn, just like the way you can teach or train an animal to do things. Today, people train animals to do so many intelligent things. This thing has been learning and has been adapting and has been mixing its DNA with other people's DNA from other parts of the world. Recently, about 10 years ago, scientists, once again, Western scientists discovered something they call desinova. They say that these are the close cousins of the Neanderthal from also Siberia. And they are claiming that these desinovas are the close cousins are from Siberia as well. So let's get back to the history of this thing. So while the Twas were busy defending Africa, some other Twas built boats and rafts and they went into Saudi Arabia. From Saudi Arabia, they went to India. From India, they went to Australia. They went to America. And then they start populating the world. Populating the world, creating bases or creating civilizations. All these things I am talking about, it did just happen one day. It took hundreds of thousands of years for it to happen. Okay, so as the years were going by, we were constantly fighting this thing that is always trying to come to raid the Garden of Eden, which is Africa. Some African people, after years of fighting, and they have seen that this creature is actually evolving, becoming more human in physical outlook. They say maybe if we can be able to teach this very thing human skills, we can teach them how to talk, how to behave properly, we can teach them morality, we can teach them real knowledge. Maybe if we teach these things, they can be able to change their character. So somewhere along the line, some African people, after generations have passed, decided that maybe if they try to teach these frost giants some things on how to become more human, how to become kind, how to live like real human beings, maybe they will become better people, maybe they will change if they begin to teach them the ways of better living, giving them technology, teaching them speech, teaching them how to live in a peaceful, harmonious society. Maybe they can be able to civilize them. This is when African people begin to start teaching them in Europe. So this is how we transferred our civilization, thinking that this thing will change and become like us. But to our dismay and observation, the thing did not change. Whatever knowledge that we were able to teach it, it took the knowledge and it decided to use them for evil. So right now, this thing have chains in our neck now. We are the ones that are suffering right now for this very decision to teach these things to become more civilized. So what we have now, Africa is under siege. Egypt have been totally run down, and we still see the children of this Neanderthal destroying other people's countries. How did this happen? How did we get here? This is what you need to know. First of all, you need to understand that this Neanderthal DNA, modern scientists have been telling us that it has disappeared, that it no longer exists. They are not telling us the complete truth. The complete truth is that it did not disappear, it evolved. It evolved by becoming more human. It evolved by adapting our ways of life, our ways of behavior, but still yet by mixing with the DNA of modern humans. So we have people today that still carries this Neanderthal DNA. So these people can be said to be children of the Neanderthal. The Neanderthal and the Cro-Magnon are their ancestors. And to prove this, these people carry exactly the same behavior with this Neanderthal. They exhibit the same behavior, they exhibit the same characteristics that this Neanderthal have been portraying and showcasing for hundreds of thousands of years. Okay, so the Neanderthal have not disappeared. Contrary to what they are teaching your children in science class, it is still here with us. How do we know this? Let's look at the way some modern people, some people that claim to be civilized are behaving today. People that are invading every country in the world, who are the people? Is it Asian people that are invading other people's countries? Is it black people that are invading other people's countries? Is it Mexican people that are invading other people's countries? Who are the people that are always plotting? Who were the people that went to America to kill all the Native Americans and stole their land and call it the land of the free? Do I need to mention them? Who are the people that went to Mexico, to South America, that went to Canada to wipe out the Native Americans? Who are the people that went to Australia to kill the native Australian Aborigines, wipe them out, and now claiming their country as their own? Who were the people that came to Africa, that sat down and did something they called Berlin Conference to share Africa, to enslave Africa? Who were the people that killed 15 million Congolese? King Leopold of Belgium, he is a child of Neanderthal. Who are the people that have the biggest pedophile cult in the world that are calling it a church? It is the church of the Neanderthal. Who are the people that are invading other people's country, lying that they have weapons of mass destruction? It is the children of Neanderthal. Who are the people that went to Libya? The people that went to El Salvador? The people that went to Afghanistan? The people that went to Iraq? The people that went to Syria? The people that went to Yugoslavia? The people that are currently trying to go to Russia? This is the bloodline of the Neanderthal. The funny thing is that the Neanderthal thinks that they are superior to authentic humans. The sole aim of the Neanderthal gene is to destroy everything good about humanity, about this world. This is the sole aim of this Neanderthal. Nothing more, nothing less. This is their nature. This is what they do. Okay? You can only know them by their character. I'm not saying that all white people are from Neanderthal. We have original 100% white people. We have ethnic white people. We have the gypsies of Europe. We have Slavic people. We have different kind of people. But the people that are doing these evil things, you will only know them by their action, because now they have mixed up with humanity so much that even by looking, you cannot be able to differentiate by their character and the way they behave. That is, you will know who you are dealing with. The funny thing and the most painful thing is that we Africans, we now worship this spirit of the Neanderthal. We worship it in the form of Jesus Christ. We are now worshiping this evil spirit that have been fighting us since the beginning of time, calling this evil spirit our God, expecting to have salvation from this evil spirit. Why will Africa not be exactly where the way it is, where we are now worshiping something that have been trying to destroy us since they came into being, or since they came out of their caves? We are now worshiping it. So this situation is a very serious situation, because this thing is hiding in plain sight, claiming to be human, claiming to be our best friend, but at the same time, it is destroying us. This story that I'm telling you, so it is not a made-up story. This story, these Neanderthal people, they have been teaching this story to their children right in front of you, but you don't know. We can see this story replay himself in the story of Thor, the god of thunder. You can see the frost giants. You can see Asgard. In this story, Thor represents the African people, while the frost giant represents the Neanderthal. What happened at that story? Thor is always fighting, protecting his realm from the frost giant invading. But at the end of the day, the frost giant took over Asgardian. Thor and his people have to run. Same thing happened to us. In the story, if you are like my age, you know about He-Man. He-Man, Master of the Universe cartoon. In He-Man, you see this white barbarian-looking guy, perfect. You can say Caucasian. His rival is this skeleton, this ugly undead thing that He-Man is always battling for supremacy of the universe. That thing you see, that antagonist represents the black race, the spirit of the black race that is immortal, that is undying, that will always be the one to challenge He-Man for being the master of the universe. So these people use this story to tell their children their own history. We can see this again in the story of Thundercats. Thundercat, if you know the cartoon of Thundercat, you see the Thundercats always battling this creature they called Mumra. If you look at Mumra very well, Mumra is a creature that is undead, almost like skeleton wrapped in mummies. And that name Mumra is actually a derivation of Amon-Ra, the supreme god of the African people. And you can see the Kundalini symbol of the double snake on the chest of Mumra. So what they are trying to tell their people there is that we African people, we only have our native spirituality to protect us, why they can be able to use advanced technology or science and technology to destroy us. So Mumra is a perfect story of this ancient battle between these very people and between the African people. You can see a story like Disney Hercules. If you watch Disney Hercules, you see Loki. Loki is always the god of deceit that these people, the Vikings, they always venerate. Loki is the one that will always bring the downfall of Zeus, of Thor. This spirit that they venerate is the trickster spirit, the spirit of technology, how to use technology to hoodwink people, to deceive people, to give people the air of superiority, to make people believe that they are actually doing something to move the planet forward, to make you relax. At the end of the day, they are destroying the planet. The more you look, the less you see. We call it abracadabra. Yaku call it technology, not technology. Okay? If we're talking about technologies to bring harmony to this planet, it should be something that is not helping to pollute the planet. It should be technologies that will be in harmony with the planet, These were the kind of technologies that ancient Egyptians and Kushites were practicing. Now we have combustion engines in cars that is always polluting. Everything they're doing is always polluting. Drilling oil, always polluting. We can be able to make technologies that can make the planet more livable. People have done that. The scientist called Tesla that wanted to bring out wireless electricity but was stopped by Edison. We have technologies that can be able to make use of free energy. People don't need to buy fuel for their cars. People can use water to power cars. Why are those technologies not allowed to flourish? Because some people want to hold down this technological advancement of the planet. So many things that can be able to move us forward and make us live in harmony. Some people don't want that. Who are the people doing all those things? Children of the Neanderthal. Okay. So this Neanderthal story is a story that is very, very complicated. And it is something that we need to know about. It's not something that happened today. It is the origin of racism. Many black people will wonder, why do white people hate us? What did we do to these white people? The fact of the matter is that the hatred does not start today. The hatred starts with this ancient war between the Homo sapiens and the Neanderthal. If we check scientific history, we will see that this ancient war have been recorded even by modern scientists that in the time past there were kind of guerrilla warfare between Neanderthals and Homo sapiens for more than 100,000 years. You can see this record in the scientific journals. It is not me that wrote those journals, okay? It is their own scientists, Western scientists. And the Neanderthals have been known to be cannibals. They eat flesh. They eat themselves. They eat other people. This is the main reason why we were not able to allow them to come into Africa for thousands of years. And finally, when they start allowing them in to come to Africa, the ancient Egyptians back then, the ancient Africans, the Kemetic people discovered that these so-called humans, they are bisexual. They sleep with men and women and they sleep with animals. This was a major issue. They discovered that many of them were like this. Later on, they kind of evolved into what we know as high soaks, so-called shepherd kings, after mixing their DNA with other people's DNA. They now evolved from Neanderthals to Cro-Magnons. They now become Isocs. They were still raiding Africa, trying to come through Africa, trying to come to Egypt. They discovered that this thing is bisexual. Even in ancient Greece was known as the only bisexual people in the world. These are people that are gay came with them. This gay culture is not an African culture, okay? What we know is African is man, woman, and polygamy. Now they are saying that we should become gay to accept them, okay? It is not our thing. It came with them. Now, they have forced us to do so many things against our will because we are under their subjugation ever since the fall of Egypt to the Arabs since 640 AD. And later on, the Europeans took power from the Arabs and they started the transatlantic slave trade, which was actually started by Pope Boniface IV. The Pope of the Catholic Church was the one that sanctioned the transatlantic slave trade. For those people that don't know this history, I copied it in my book. It was in my book that I wrote, okay? It was a pope that started transatlantic slave trade, your Catholic Church Pope. Okay, so know this and know peace. So, you need to know why I am saying all these things now. You need to know exactly what you are dealing with. The thing you are dealing with is not 100% human. The thing you are dealing with is not like you. The nature of the thing you are dealing with is not like your nation. You are thinking of how to survive, how to live in peace with everybody, how to just get what you can get to go by, to make some happiness for yourself and the people around you. But this very thing, 24 hours, once it thinks about this very thing, 24 hours, what it thinks about is how to destroy you, how to subjugate you, how to make sure that he is controlling you and that you are not happy. This is the nature of what you are dealing with. Okay, so as far as you have this thing running around, you will never have peace. Okay, they also say that if you want peace, you must be ready for war. So I'm trying to explain this thing today because this thing is not new. This history, they teach it to their children. Their children know who they are. They teach it to their children from generation to generation. But we don't teach our children this. They wipe it out from our curriculum. Many Africans don't even know this ancient war, this ancient feud. Many Africans don't know it. So we keep thinking that this thing is our friend, that this thing have our best interests at heart, which it certainly does not have. Okay? So the sooner you know this, the better for you. So the essence of this now is that we need to trace these characteristics of this Neanderthal, his gen, his children. We cannot differentiate who is a racist from who is not a racist. Not every white people have this Neanderthal DNA. And funny to say this, some black people have the Neanderthal DNA due to mixing with them. Some Asian people have it too. So we not know who is exhibiting this character until we actually see it in action. Okay? So this is not a video for racism that we say all white people are Neanderthals. Not all white people are Neanderthals. Okay? It is just a few tiny percent of them. But this thing is very clever that he has been able to hijack the control of the world. They have been able to hijack the highlight system of the world to direct it in the direction that they want. We have many white people that are suffering under current world policies. I've seen so many white people suffering in America, in South Africa. The airlines, they call these people white trash. Okay? But some of them will say, okay, I'm okay with this suffering. After all, I have white privilege. My white privilege is okay for me. I'm still better than the average black man. So that we keep quiet and allow this to go by. But your white privilege will not really save you on the long run. At the end of the day, you are still suffering like me. There are many things that you still cannot do like me too. So I don't know how far your white privilege will take you to. As the more black people wake up, the more white privilege will disappear. Okay? Western occultism, I told you that there are many rituals that I have come across that white people are doing to give them 6 series DNA and 9 DNA series. Okay, it is in their green wars. I have come across this. The essence of this is that it proves that they are actually lacking certain attributes or qualities biologically and spiritually that is not making them complete humans. So they think that by going to these deities, they can be able to become complete humans and advanced humans and get to the next level of their physical and spiritual evolution. Then a good example of this, there is this grimoire that I would like you guys to read called the Compendium of Belial without a master. This grimoire was written by the famous, infamous, or notorious E.A. Cuetins. As we know, for those people that know that name, if you know that name, you are in the occult field. E.A. Cuetins was considered as the bad boy of the occult world for the last 5 years, almost 5 to 10 years. He was the number one Western occultist that actually showcased or bring forward Western occultism, make it more popular. He wrote a lot of grimoires. He was on top of the game until he started causing problems for himself by getting in trouble with the Asian Voodoo community, by going to showcase some secrets, by getting in trouble with other occultists, and by always promoting his philosophy of total chaos, no gods, no rules, no laws, or whatever he's promoting of ultimate destruction for ascension. This is his philosophy. It's like an extreme form of black magic, Western occultism. It was on this path of self-destruction. Then what happened was that a kid in UK uh, that is a member of his Become a Living God forum killed two ladies in UK, sacrificed them to Lucifuge because this kid was following EA Coatings, listening to what he was saying about sacrificing people to wealth and fame. So this kid killed two women in UK, and he's not doing life sentence. So this kid did this because he was exposed to the extreme philosophies of EA Coatings. And as a result of that, he was banned from YouTube, he was banned from Facebook. Even a criminal investigation was opened on him, and this is how he disappeared. I actually came across him early in my years of studying Western occultism. I understudied this guy. I read almost all his books. I understudied him in order to know the philosophy of what he was talking about. And I think I know a lot. I got a lot of things from him. So he wrote this book called The Compendium of Belial, which are 9 demonic gatekeeper series. This Belial book is the first one. Belial, as I told you, is also Set, the Egyptian god Set, the god of the desert, the god of the wasteland, the god of opposition. This is a deity that the ancient Egyptians called the devil. He is the original prototype of Satan, the opposer. Set is the most dreaded deity in ancient Egypt. Many people are afraid of Set. This is a deity that they now called Belial in Western occultism. It's a very powerful deity, very active deity, and it's not a deity to toy with. But one thing you will notice about Western occultists and white people, when they go into their Western occultism, they are always drawn to the most dangerous deities, the most darkest deities, deities of chaos and destruction. This is the deities that they love the most. For whatever reason, I don't know. But I think that this could be because of their nature, of their thirst for destruction. That is why they are drawn to these deities. So I've seen a lot of Western occultists that are making contact with these deities. They will not only make contact, they will go and bring these deities into their life. And then they will always be having problems in their life. There is a saying, I don't know if say this thing, that fools rush in where angels fear to tread. There are deities that African people are afraid to even deal with. But those are the deities that you will see white people running up to. I have seen this a lot. And guess what? It always destroys their life. Many of them are drug addicts. Many of them are unbalanced, unstable because of this kind of spirits that they bring into their living room. The deity of chaos like Set, something like Eshu. You put their shrine inside your house. This is a spirit of chaos, of constant struggle and commotion. Something that is always boiling, always in a state of motion. What do you expect that will come to your life? Your life will become a tumor. Your life will become turmoil, will always be boiling. There are some deities we don't put in our house in Africa for very good reason. You will build a shed outside and keep the thing there. You don't bring it inside your house. But I will see a lot of Western people be bringing this stuff into their living room. I don't know what is wrong with them, but I believe it's that destruction in their DNA that is attracting them to bring this destruction spirits into their own living room. So a lot of them, you see them on their forums, on their YouTube channel, talking about these dangerous deities like it is their roommates, like it's their pal. I will be shocked. Or what they're kind of thinking to do is that when they associate themselves with these people, we think they are very powerful. They want to give this air that they are very powerful people to be associating themselves with these things. But these are things that you cannot control. Imagine somebody making friend with a nuclear reactor, with a piece of uranium, or you bringing that into your home, trying to make friend with that kind of substance. What do you think will happen to that person? I will leave that to your imagination, but this is what they do. So, in all the things that he was accused of, one thing, he was honest. He never lied about who he was. He stated his mission. He stated that his philosophy is about destruction, chaos, no gods, no rules. Become a living God. He wanted to become a God. I could say he was a God for a few minutes, and now nobody knows where he is anymore. He's underground, hiding. So you need to read this grimoire. In this grimoire, Belia, what he was saying, he was able to make contact with this deity, and this deity told him certain things. The deity told him that it's a virus. He and his kind is a virus. Anything he touch, it destroy. His nature, his kind. Anything they touch, anything they place their feet, anywhere they go, they destroy it because that is their nature. And Belial told him that his essence requires destruction, for he and his kind are the great destroyers. This was written in the grimoire. It was not me that wrote that grimoire. You can buy the grimoire and read it. The grimoire contained this very thing I'm telling you. It was what Belial told him, that he and his kind are the great destroyers. It was a spirit that told him this gnosis, not me. It was not a black person that wrote it. So I want you to read this grimoire. This grimoire is a very powerful grimoire. I want to warn you, the book is powerful. Belial is not a deity to play with. The book, reading this book on its own will open the gates of this spirit into your life. Okay, it's a powerful book. It's not for weak people. If you know you don't want to bring this deity into your consciousness, do not read this book. But if you want to dive deep, this book is for you. It is a very good grimoire. To me, it's one of the best grimoires out there. For whatever the bad things that we said E.L. Coutins did, the grimoire is a real grimoire. Belial, you should read it. Grimoire of Lucifer is a very good grimoire. In that book, you will see rituals that he took from ancient Egypt for ascension. It's in that book. Maybe I will talk about it. I don't like talking about Western occultism. Many of the people there, they are gaga. But what I'm talking about to refer to this nature of the Caucasian carrying this Neanderthal DNA or Neanderthal. Belial said, you and your kind are the great destroyers. Anything you people touch, you destroy. Your accent requires destruction. It is in that book. I want you to get the book and read it. He also went further to talk about the misery of the 9-pointed star, which is the 9 series DNA. And the ritual instruction was how to get this 9 series DNA that African people have. It is in that book. Okay? Once again, it was not me that wrote the book. I have nothing to do with the book. There are other things about DNA. The rhesus DNA, rhesus monkey DNA, it is inside. The book is a good book. You should buy the book, give him some money. He was honest. Okay, you can also download the book for free, or if you know how to download, but I want you to just help him. You know the bad things, I know you need money now, so please try to buy this book. It's cheap now. Okay, you can get the book, read it, you will understand what I am talking about. That what I am talking about is not fiction. It is a very, very real story. Okay, it is not fiction. So you should know this and know peace. Okay, so we can go on and on to see that this Neanderthal DNA, it is still on the planet. Okay, the people has evolved. We don't know them anymore, but they are like us now. They are now our wives. We have married them with the hope that maybe our DNA will overcome that, because it's a recessive gene. It will die out on its own. Quite natural, it is dying out already. According to Elijah Muhammad, this thing will not last more than 7,000 years on the planet, and I believe it's almost time for it to go. It's on its way out already. Even if we don't do anything, it's on the gene is dying out now on its own. It's recessive. So they are now our wives and our husbands now. But the new thing they are trying to do is that they are now bringing this gay thing into Africa, telling us we must become gay. What this will do is that it is going to destroy African people and African culture. I would like to see how African people will react to it, because I know a lot of African people, this is not inside their DNA. This is not part of them. They are going to naturally resist. Even the ones that are brainwashed Christians and Muslims, they will naturally resist this thing. When I did a topic about gay in the past, I was attacked, so I don't want to talk about that topic. But if we allow this thing to happen, the next thing that they will give us is people marrying animals. Okay, as you see on the screen. The next thing that will come is that we have to accept this new nonsense. And this new nonsense is not in African thing once again. So this will quite naturally cause a lot of problems. In order for us to preserve the purity of our gene and to make sure that we repopulate this planet again with authentic human DNA, we have to preserve our species, and we have to reject this thing that this Neanderthal is trying to push on us again. Because what they are doing is that they are trying to destroy the whole human race. This is their work. This is their sole aim. So we must reject it in order to survive. That is why I'm speaking against this agenda. Right now, they are giving people's money to promote this gay agenda, LGBT agenda. It is all to destroy the authentic human DNA structure of this planet, which we must try to protect. We should not accept it in any way, shape, or form. We must stand our ground. Part of this reason, I have been trying to say we should be careful with these people. They will not stop until they have wiped out everything human from us. So we have to protect our lineage. We have to protect our DNA. We are the only pure humans on this planet. So we must resist this gay agenda at all costs. Okay? Because if we accept it, the next thing is bestiality. To show you that Neanderthal DNA is what they want to, of sleeping with animals, they want to bring it back again. Pedophilia, they are the ones that brought it. This gay thing, they are the ones that brought it. Now, bestiality, they are the ones that are bringing it. So you are seeing this Neanderthal gene in action right in front of you. It has not extinct. It is still here. Okay? So you need to be careful, and you need to be watchful. You need to be observant. Okay? So this is what I have for you today. Know this and know peace. It is better to be forewarned than to be forearmed. Okay? A problem shared is half solved. It's better to be safe than sorry. A word is enough for the wise. Okay? So you need to know this thing, and make sure when you see this kind of behaviors, do not support it, do not promote it, do not stand for it. Okay? The thing have not changed its color. It is still the same snake, only in suits nowadays. So we have to be wise. So this is what I have for you today. For you to understand Africa very well, we need to turn the map upside down. The way African map is currently presented today, it is not the way the map is supposed to be. If you look at modern African map, Europe is always on top. If you flip our map upside down, you will understand who we are as a people. Okay, turn that map upside down, you will see the real Africa. You will understand that we have always been one people. We have always been united. And we are the root race of this world. Okay, we have a responsibility as African people to reclaim this heritage, to move the planet forwards in spiritual progression. Okay, right now we are failing our responsibility due to what has happened to us. We need to reclaim that responsibility to bring peace and harmony to this planet. This planet is our planet, okay? Right now, it is not balanced. So we need to take responsibility. We should not allow things to happen to chance. We need to stand our ground. We need to be responsible. This is the only way we can move this planet forward. If not, we will continue to be dominated. We will continue to be colonized and oppressed. So we need to teach this knowledge to our children so that they will know what they are up against. Okay? So this is what I have for you today. Questions or comments are welcome. Like and share this video. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell close to the subscribe button so you'll be the first to get my videos as soon as I release them. And if you are interested in learning more about African spirituality, my website is still waiting for you, w.kindoki.net. Here I will teach you the secrets of African spirituality. You don't need to travel to Africa. It is not expensive. I will teach you to become your own master and your own spiritualist and native doctor. I am not a middleman. I am just a guide. Okay? If you want to read my book on quantum physics and African spirituality, it is still here for you. It is e-copy. It is not a physical copy. I will email it to you. It is the first book written on quantum physics in the history of Nigeria, even Africa. I have not seen another book on quantum physics. So this is a very powerful book. You need to get a copy. If you want to do your spell, love spell, hexes, breakup, the whole 9 yards, you know where to find me. So with that being said, I wish you a very wonderful day. Thank you for today. And I'll be seeing you in the next video. So take care and bye. Peace.